So Sunday was a pretty interesting day for Xenoblade Twitter over there. Luxin kind of had a bit of a meltdown, and despite what you may think, I'm not making this video to clown on him or anything. I'm kind of just want to use him as an example for a bigger point that I'm going to make later on. But Sunday, Luxin had finally dropped his analysis for the second Xenoblade XDE trailer, as everyone was so patiently waiting for, and it released to massive fanfare. A lot of people were very excited about it, but apparently out of nowhere, Luxin responded to that tweet saying, "For the record, I absolutely fucking despise the joke of acting like I'm lazy or taking too long every time a trailer comes out. Stop asking in comments of other things, trying to rush me to get an analysis done. This was finished as fast as I healthily could, and I'm sure people are going to complain about how I'm late or repeat the extremely funny joke about how it isn't long enough. If this keeps up, there will be no video about the next trailer or anything pre-release for the game after this." And you know, you may say, what is he going on about? What caused all of this? But this isn't over. After that, he had dropped another little thread saying, "Not sure I'm cut out to be a content creator if the amount of hate I've been getting on just this video is getting to me this much. Trust me, I'm hugely critical of myself. I already think most of my output is low quality garbage," which I don't understand how he thinks that. Like, okay, I'm gonna get to this in a second. I just wasn't aware this many people agreed. I've only ever done this for fun, but knowing I'm seen as a slop dealer, that also confuses me, has made the idea of doing more completely undesirable. Shorter videos are probably still going to happen, but I think that'll be it for analysis and long form yap sessions for the foreseeable future. I apologize for not adding anything worthwhile to the conversation. I'll try to make sure it doesn't happen again. Now, this confused me and a lot of people. Like, where did this come from? As far as I had seen, I didn't see anything negative about him on that video or really in any other tweets. I did see one reply to that tweet kind of saying like, "Oh, yeah, I'm here for the 1 hour of content going nowhere." I only saw about one comment that was like negative, but that's about it. So I'm not really sure where he's seeing all of this hate from. And a couple things I want to add on to that, where he says he's hugely critical of himself and think most of his output is low quality garbage. I don't really see how he thinks that. And kind of on top of that, content doesn't always have to be like this super overly edited, just like very clearly corporatized content. You can just make a video of you just talking and putting up a couple images here and there. Literally, that's what I do. My content, I'm just basically just commentary with like the bare minimum content or clips, like bare minimum images or clips to go along with what I'm saying, and that's really it. That's enough. All right, most people prefer like lesser edited content like that, so I'm not really sure how his is low quality garbage, especially since as long as his videos usually are, he goes very, very in detail and in depth in all of his analysis. Hell, I don't think he realizes how important he is to the community and how big of a role he plays, because every time a trailer comes out, one of the first things I always see, "Oh, can't wait for Luxin's video on this, can't wait for the 2-hour video on this." Like, people are excited waiting for it, and then when he finally drops it, it's to like critical acclaim. So I'm not really sure why he thinks his content's low quality garbage. It doesn't have to be this super overly edited video to be high quality. All right, he's concise. Well, okay, maybe not concise, but he's very articulate and puts all of his videos are well put together. So I don't really understand that. And then later on he says, "I've only ever done this for fun, but knowing I'm seen as a slop dealer has made the idea of doing more completely undesirable." I also don't see how anybody thinks he's a slop content creator. If anything, that's me. All right, I just throw out the most like unefforted, low quality, just random shit. All of his videos, even though I'm not a fan of Luxin as much as I used to be, I don't watch him anymore, he has very interesting videos that no one else would really think to do, and he somehow makes it entertaining and makes sense. So no one else really does the type of content he does. But I mean, it's just a given. The more popular you get, the more likely there will be people who hate on you for really no reason, or whether that be jealousy or any other reason. But I'm not really sure how people are hating on him for this video. Oh, because it's 2.5 hours long. I mean, okay, first of all, what did you expect? It's Luxin. That's the type of thing he does. I mean, I can understand him getting upset by the joke, but like, oh, whoa, can't wait for Luxin's analysis in a week late, or oh, can't wait for the 3-hour video. I mean, I can understand that, but from what I've seen, it hasn't been as bad as he's saying. But then again, I mean, he's receiving all of this, so I don't think he would just lie about that, especially the kind of person he is. So I mean, I'm not really sure where all this hate is coming from, but he's understandably upset. But at the same time, he kind of had a meltdown over this. But I mean, understandably so. So I'm not really sure where all this is coming from. But kind of what I mentioned earlier about my point later on is that no matter how big a content creator is, they still get affected by negative comments and stuff like this, more so than smaller creators. I guess you could make an argument for that. For like smaller creators, it matters more to them to get negative comments because, you know, they're just starting out. There's not many people watching them, and then the few people who are watching them are leaving bad comments, so it kind of makes them think that's indicative of their entire viewer base, which I can understand. But at a larger level, there is more hate, so it does get harder to deal with. But at the same time, the bigger you get, you kind of come to expect that type of thing. And it's kind of interesting that this is all happening now, considering Luxin has been around forever, right, for many years. So I guess it's just years worth of these kind of comments building up, and he just couldn't handle it anymore. And so, like I said, though I'm not as much of a fan as I am earlier, I mean, it's not like I hate Luxin or anything, but I can kind of understand why some people might not like him. I don't know, they might view him as like pretentious, I guess, because I'm not going to lie, and this isn't like a jab at Luxin or anything, but he does speak in a sort of condescending tone, so I can understand how that would turn people off from his content. But other than that, I don't really understand what else there could be, other than maybe his videos are too long. But at that point, what do you expect? Most of his all of his analysis videos are always longer than anybody else's. I mean, I'm not really sure what you expect, and it's a reason for that. He doesn't do that just to like get clout of, oh look, I make the longest videos. No, they're that long because he goes so in detail about pretty much everything. So I don't know, the hate isn't warranted as far as I know. Okay, like I said, I'm not a fan, but it's not like he's done anything wrong to deserve a bunch of hate. But my main point is that even bigger content creators like this still get affected by negative comments, and there's really no reason to leave like super overly negative and hurtful comments like that, especially if they didn't do anything to deserve it. Like, you truly have to be miserable in order to do something like that. I don't really understand what is even your goal in doing that? Like, what is the point? Like, what it goes through people's head when they leave comments like that? Oh, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna leave this comment, he's gonna read it and he's gonna cry, it's gonna hurt him so bad, it's gonna hurt his ego and all this. Like, for what? What's even the point? What has he done to you that you want him to hurt that bad? I don't really understand it. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to go over this because I did admittedly think his meltdown was a little bit funny, but at the same time it is warranted. But yeah, moral of the story is be kind to people. Okay, I know it sounds cliche and like, oh, I mean, kind, but it's true. Like, people, this, even though they might not show it, this does affect people, especially those with weaker mental states. So I mean, unless there's not really a reason to, then just don't leave comments like that. I mean, you're the one who went to the video to watch it just to comment that. Like, come on, that's just loser behavior. But yeah, that's about it. See you next mission to play some goddamn Xenoblade.